What could it be? What is missing? What is not here? So this morning, our beloved Mike just took a well-deserved... Oh, I'm not on? Yeah, I am. Are you? Yeah, not really. Not very loud? I will project it. So Mike, our beautiful musician and pianist, decided to, took a well-deserved vacation day and went to visit his family back east, which we applaud. Everybody needs a day off. And our beloved Joanna, if you're watching, I kind of hope you're not. I hope you're resting with your eyes closed. She is sick. She feels so bad, but she rested yesterday, and she's really not feeling well. So I said, please, stay home, and we are going to be vulnerable and vamp, right? We're going to do it. So, Jim, right up. Jim texted me this morning and said, hey, what if we be real?
In the spirit of vulnerability. Right? That's our theme this month, right? Vulnerability.
Yes.
So we're going to do open mic night at CSL TV. So we're looking for a brave volunteer to lead us in this song we all know. The lyrics are on the screen. This door is open.
Who is it? Come on. Who is it?
Vulnerable.
Who is going to lead?
Volunteer, not me.
Oh, we need a volunteer. Craig. Yes. Craig. Oh, yeah, too. Show us the way. Here's the mic.
And then we'll get
I'm
more
going down.
opportunities later.
I'm going down. You guys, I told you I wasn't working today. Here we go. All right.
Is that words? You ready? Okay, here we go. Big print.
Okay, here we go. Let's stand up and we are welcome.
Much easier than here we go. And we start with the word no matter. Ready? No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's the place where you can take comfort in knowing that wherever you come to stay a while, or just passing through, this door is open to you. Oh, come on, let's be silent. Come on, share a hug. Come, let's play together. Some love and be loved. From the bliss out to the turnout, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether they go black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Let's give a big hand for Susie. We are CSL TV. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome. So we're having some fun today. So just putting it out there. The next song is the Kong song. We're singing Holy, Holy Way, which we know. I choose an easy one, so think about it. If you're feeling called, I have the lyrics right here. It's very easy. So we're going to be asking for more volunteers to stand and deliver. If Beth, Susie, and Craig can do it, anybody can do it. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new to the center, hello. I wish I can't. This is how we roll. So you got it on a good day because this is who we are. This is how we roll. We are a warm, loving, embracing community, and we go with the flow, right? So we say yes to life. We say yes to being here together, and we just show up. We show up I showed up with my Dalai Lama shirt, big hitter, if anybody's familiar with the movie Caddyshack. I know Kevin, we were doing lines this morning. So, we are in comfortable, welcoming, loving place. And so, thank you for being here. Thank you online. I know it's a little nutty this morning, but we're doing it. We're making our way. So, we're going to begin with our centering bowl, and we'll kind of go in. Yeah, see, you guys are such good breathers. The moment I say it, I feel the collective breath. And then we'll have our invocation with our practitioner emeritus, Julie Mims.
As we settle in this morning, after the joy and the laughter, I recognize that there is one life, one divine presence. And as we gather together as a community of like-minded people who all know that that life is God, the joy that we experience, as well as the quiet times that we contemplate that life, that joyous life within each one of us. For each one here and online has brought a part of that presence where we become a whole. So it is with deep gratitude that I stand here this morning, recognizing each one of you with the love and the peace and the joy that is our birthright. So I just let these words go, I let them be, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Julie. Yes. Give me this, a practitioner emeritus right here. She has been as a licensed practicing practitioner for 25 years or more. It is a big deal in the CSL community. So I know I do this every time when she's up here, but it is a big deal, and we actually have one right here. So thank you, Julie. Thank you. All right, I just wanted to comment. So we're finishing up. This is our 5th week talking about vulnerability. We're like giving it to you, right? And I just wanted to comment. Can you see how when you're vulnerable, when Beth and Susie and Craig came up, that's a moment of vulnerability for them, right? To come up and maybe screw up the words, maybe not sing totally in tune, but can you feel how that is the bonding that's between us when we do that? It's really powerful to witness people being vulnerable. And sharing in that. That is the juiciness of life as a human being. So I just wanted to comment on it because today my talk is about actually practicing vulnerability together. So, there are no accidents or, coincidences with spirit, right? That this is how it shows up today. And so I'm just loving that. So thank you for demonstrating and embodying vulnerability. Thank you. All right, who's next? Because we're going to sing our congregational song. Yes. Yes, my band. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God. Okay. Oh, my God. Here we go. So here's the lyrics in case you need it. Julie, we can go down with this. Okay, so we're going to stand together and we're going to sing
acapella.
Holy, Holy Way. Here are the notes. You can do it.
got a good note for us. Mine's gonna be too low. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me know that love is all around.
Let me know that love is all around.
Oh, let me know that love is all around.
Let me know that love is all around.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me learn from all the ways I fall.
Let me learn from all the ways I fall.
Oh, let me know that love can heal us all.
Let me know that love can heal us all.
Oh, let me know that love can heal us all.
Let me know that love can heal us all.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Joanna, we love you, but I'm telling you. Right, there you go. I gotta say, honestly, Jill, I mean, the congregation really, you guys really got into it. I mean, thank you. And that's how we support each other in this juiciness of life. All right, we're going to welcome Julie up to do our spiritual reading for today.
Give me a mic and I'll find the spot. Oh, yes. We know that our musicians don't have to worry about losing their job. They can be happy that we can carry on, and we will. And continuing on vulnerability, do you all realize, or some of you realize, that our whole organization is being vulnerable this month? That they're talking about it? I get goosebumps when I think about it. It is just such a concept to be vulnerable. So I'm going to continue. And in our magazine with big, bold letters, it says vulnerability. But this article was, Embrace Your Hidden Power. I won't read it all because I know most of you have read it. It's by Reverend Dr. Carol Carnes. And she says, I became vulnerable to life as opposed to defending myself against possible danger. For me, this was an extraordinary insight. This awareness allows me to be more present, more appreciative of differences, more comfortable in new situations. I also am aware that it is easier for me to admit when I am wrong or have behaved in an insensitive manner. I do not fear losing face. When I offer my true self, there is nothing to protect. Here's what I discovered. Vulnerability is a superpower. Viewing vulnerability as a superpower makes sense when we consider its opposite. Defensiveness, rigidity, repression, fear, to name a few symptoms of self-protectiveness, none of which give us the life we desire. And she quotes Brene Brown, which is, we've heard a lot about Brene this month. Vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. One of my affirmations that I offer to anyone wanting to leap into higher levels of intimacy, connection, and love is, I am willing to be seen and known for who I really am. I am not surprised when students express fear of such statements. It is powerful and challenging to bring our self-protectiveness tendencies, which equate vulnerability with weakness. Just the opposite is true. And I'm going to skip over to some of her points. Here are some of the common personas that may be, let's see what she says here. That may be active in our self-identity. The victim. This is happening to me. I have nothing to say about it. The observer. This has nothing to do with me, it's their issue. Number 3, the ego. How dare they do this? I'll get even. Number 4 is the philosopher. So interesting. Life is full of surprises. And number 5, the vulnerable. This reflects my current self-identity. I am greater than this. I know what to do. And vulnerability is mastery. Power comes from gentleness. Wisdom exists in the not yet known. Flexibility comes from stability. Giving begets receiving. The meek shall inherit the earth. So I'll leave you with that this morning. And if you haven't read her article, I invite you to take your magazine that I know all of you get in the mail or buy in the office. And you can read more about vulnerability. And I'll turn it back over to our reverends.
Thank you, Julie. Remember, the Aramaic for meek is what? I think we talked about it, right? So Aramaic was the language of the Christ. That's what the language he spoke. And meek means those who can make what was once hard, soft. Okay? Just a reminder. All right, so, we have a special guest artist this morning. Our very own in-house talent. Miss Pat Clark, practitioner. Pat's making her way up. So this is a beautiful rock from our own garden here. And Jill and Janine and Pat have been working together. Linda, to paint it. Because Camp Cedar Ridge, which is the Center for Spiritual Living camp, which we own up in Oregon, is creating a labyrinth up there. And they asked for rocks to put in the labyrinth. So this is going to be CSLTV's rock, which will go in Camp Cedar Ridge labyrinth. It will have our logo on there, courtesy of Pat Clark, and beautiful dipped. I don't know how Linda did it, but it's beautiful. So, poured. This is poured. Wow, beautiful. So this is going up to Camp Cedar Ridge. Thank you to everyone who did that. So this one, this beloved puts up with my shenanigans. And so I called her at 6 o'clock last night and said, eek! What are we going to do? Joanna is out, Mike is out, and she said, no problem. I will come, I will step in, I will perform, and we are very gifted and blessed by the voice and the talent and the gift that is Pat Clark.
do some fast thinking last night as to what the song would be. And so the things that came into my head, this one, it's almost summer. And I like the song. So we are going to sing. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing, and you'll spread your wings, and you'll take to the sky, but till that morning, there's nothing can harm you. With Daddy and Mommy standing by.
I'm telling you, oh, to sing. Although, I used to have this thing about that I'm not a singer, and I'm not a trained singer like Pat, and and I have gifts of my own. But I used to seriously be up here, and I would have a joke with Beth and Reverend Catherine that I never sing. I mouth the words, right? I wouldn't even sing them. I mouth them. But I don't do that anymore. I sing, I embrace it, and I want all of us to embrace life every day and live every moment, because we are here for such a short time. I mean, really, we are a blip. And so we should enjoy every moment. We should sing, we should laugh, we should play, we should be ourselves in every moment, because it's gone before we know it. All right, I'm done. So we are vulnerability, right? We're getting five weeks of vulnerability. I kind of laughed to myself, but we need 5 weeks. We do. Because vulnerability is tough. It's tough. We get wounded early on, and we shut down, and we say, "Oh, I'm never going to do that again." Right? That was embarrassing. I won't do that again. And I'm here to tell you, let's do it again. Let's be embarrassed. It's okay. It lasts 90 seconds. It's really okay. And you've lived life to the fullest in that moment. So I know I've been talking about it. We've been talking about it, and I thought today we are going to practice it. We're going to practice it together, and I hope that you will be vulnerable enough to partake in these shenanigans that I'm going to present to us this morning, and do it with us. Do it together, okay? Be vulnerable. Thank you. I got a taker. All right. Because we want to transform ourselves, right? That's why we're here. That's what we're doing here, right? We want to live the best, fullest, most free life that we can. And coming here together and being in community is wonderful, and we're making connections. But ultimately, my hope is that we're coming here to shift and transform our lives. Is life good? Fantastic. It can be better. Is life kind of challenging? Okay, fantastic. It can be better. And it can be done. So it's through practice. It's great that you come here and you listen to this talking head, blah, 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 that's fine, right? But it's practicing what we're talking about together. And if you practice it in the social hall, great. If you're practicing it in your daily life, fantastic. So last week I talked about taking a mental inventory of our lives. Did anybody do that? Chirp, chirp. Lauren, did you have any insights from this week about taking a mental inventory of your life?
I'm making wonderful progress.
She's making wonderful progress. That's good. That's good. She took the time to think about it, to contemplate it, to be open to it. Maybe nothing comes in, that's okay too, right? But you're open to it and you're thinking about it. So today is, again, vulnerability. And I laughed to myself because I kept thinking, I think we don't have a choice about being vulnerable, but we don't. I mean, we think we're in control and we've got it all together, and we do. You guys have all got it together. I can see that. But being vulnerable is innate within us. We come into this life vulnerable, and as a babe, right, we all entered in the same way, I believe, as a baby, unclothed, exposed, probably looking around at these lights and these doctors and all this commotion, thinking, what in the heck did my soul incarnate into? Holy cow! But the cosmic joke is we're still the same. We're clothed, we're bounded up, we are still vulnerable. It lives within us, doesn't go anywhere. And so my challenge is, if you haven't started it, start now. Embrace it. Because it is not a choice. It's not a choice. And the more we try to put it off, we try to pretend that we don't know, guess what? It's in there. And it only takes one embarrassing moment to have it come bubbling forth. This is the truth. So today, books we're working with, Neville Goddard. If you have not checked out Neville Goddard, I encourage you to check him out. He is the master of imagination, and what you can imagine, you can become. And his words and thoughts about using our imagination to create our life, and using sleep to create in our life, going to bed, imagining what my life is now, sleeping on it and waking up, imagining what my life is. It's a whole spiritual practice that he talks about. So we're using him today, and I'm finishing up with Elegant Choices, Healing Choices. She's a beautiful author. I love her. So here we go.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
I have another Goddard book.
Oh, this is the complete reader. This is the big book. So this is all of his books, but he's got plenty of, you can find him on Amazon, Neville Goddard, Goddard. He's great. Any one of his books is great. All right. So it's not a choice. Vulnerability. David White, one of my favorite poets, says this about vulnerability. It's not a weakness. It's not a passing indisposition or something we can arrange to do without. Vulnerability is not a choice. Vulnerability is the underlying, ever-present, and abiding undercurrent of our natural state. To run from vulnerability is to run from the essence of our nature. We are human beings having this beautiful experience, but we are also, don't let us not forget that we are animals, right? And just like animals do their thing, know their vulnerability, right? We do our thing. But we try to pretend we don't know our vulnerability. We try to think it's something that I don't need to think about. And I'm encouraging us today to really make it present. Just like Ted and Janine and Beth and Susie and Craig and Jim, just being up here can be vulnerable. Being in this sanctuary can be vulnerable. For those of you who have made it your first attempt, your first pass here, that's vulnerability. I honor you. Just coming into a new place without a wingman is very vulnerable. And we are not victims here, right? At Centers for Spiritual Living and Centers for Spiritual Living throughout our teaching philosophy based on the work of Dr. Ernest Holmes, we are not victims. We are always at choice. Every moment is a choice. So if we're afraid of being vulnerable, and I think some of the things we think about is, oh, well, they're not going to like me, right? If I show them who I really am, that I'm a weirdo, crow, bird feeder, a tree hugger, if they really know that I have tattoos on my arm, they're not going to like me, right? We think we're protecting ourselves. You're not. We all see and know each other right away. I'm not hiding. I think I'm hiding, but you all know. You can see who I am. I can see who you are. We can feel into each other. We're not hiding. We think we are. We're not. And secondarily, I thought about it. I'm like, why not just get it over with? Right? If they don't like me, let's just get there sooner. Do I want them in my... I don't know. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. That's cool. So let's just get there quicker. Know where we stand. Say adios with love. And move on. It's okay. It's all right. Because I want to be at choice. And I want to surround myself with people who dig me. Who get my cup of tea. And they'll do the same. And I can say... enjoy your tea or your beer or whatever it is that you're enjoying with other people. That's great. But let's get there quicker. Let's get there quicker. And vulnerability is also acceptance, right? That's part of accepting ourselves, right? That I am who I am, they're who they are. It's acceptance for both of us. And I think we need to embrace accepting each other a little bit better. I know I do, right? Some of my best examples of this are, I'm out to lunch, I'm out to dinner, and Beth says, oh, I got it. I got it. And I'm like, oh, no, we can't do that. No, I'll split it with you. And Beth's like, no, I got it, right? Instead of just immediately saying, oh, thank you, Beth. What a beautiful gift. I accept. I accept your graciousness and your kindness and your givingness, right? That's when we're participating in life together. And there's a giving and a receiving. And I'll have my turn to give. And Beth will have her time to accept and receive. So it's playing with that, right? I accept. Don't immediately go to the shunning of it. Just accept it. And say, great, I'll pay it forward with somebody else. That's the highest compliment you can give to yourself and other people. Is being in participation in that vulnerability. And not bounding yourself and saying, oh, no. With that that's all false modesty anyway, really, right? It's all boundedness. So I had a cute story about this that I wanted to share with you. It's about a battery. And this comes from Steve Maraboli from his book, Unapologetically You. And he says this: when I would see someone on the side of the road or in a parking lot and they have a dead battery, like most of us, I would pull up next to them and get out my jumper cables, and by attaching my living battery to their dead one, they're able to start their car, right? We're familiar with this concept. During the process, my functioning battery doesn't have to teach their dead battery how to be a battery. process of jump starting doesn't teach the battery what to be. It already is. It already knows what it is. All the living battery does is remind the dead battery of its initial innate potential. It only reminds it of its power. So a battery, the dead battery is like, oh no. I don't need a jump. Battery's like, yeah, right? We are all living in that current together. We are all energetic bodies. Sometimes all it takes is another energetic body to remind this energetic body of its innate power and potential. It lives in us. And I charge all of us here and online to be that energetic body. Remind somebody of their innate potential, even if you don't know them. That is how we change the world. You want a better world? Do we want a more equitable world? Do we want a freer world? I think we do.
Yes.
Yes. So how do we do it? One battery at a time. Right? It doesn't take much for one person to change a life, and then change a life, and then change a life. So we lead by example. If the Checker and Stater Brothers is down and not feeling it, I can be a light for that person in that moment. Do we have to be in a rush? Can we sit there for a moment and be vulnerable with that person? And say, how are you doing today? And not worry about the people behind us. They can move to another line if they want to move to another line. We can stand and be present with somebody in that moment and charge up their battery. That, to me, is the real power. And so some of the skills for vulnerability are empathy, self-awareness, and active listening. We could write these things down or remind ourselves this week, could I do this, or this a couple times a week in vulnerability? Can I do it? Can I actively listen to somebody, hear their story? Can I be self-aware and know what's around me? Can I have empathy for someone, even when I don't understand? I'm not saying we have to understand or acknowledge or behavior, right? People behave the way they behave, but can I be empathetic and can I be accepting? Because that's where the real power is. It's where the real juicy power is. So I encourage us, so here's our first practice. In 2 weeks after the Taze service, I'm going to ask some questions again, and so be like Lauren and say, yes, I did it. Can we do one of these things? That's our warm-up. This is our warm-up activity, okay? I'm not asking you to turn to one another and gaze into each other's eyes quite yet. But you never know. It could be coming. Okay? Possibility. Vulnerability is the nest of possibility. When we think we know it all, and believe me, ask Susie, I think I know it all the time. But when we think we know it all, we don't allow spirit to create, right? If I think I know it all, am I open to possibility? Am I open to the givingness of God? I don't think so. Right? Because I can't outguess the cosmic muffin. I cannot. The capital, IT, has so many, it's unbelievable, right? It's exponential. It's infinite how much it can create. And I can't know that with this small mind. But when I'm vulnerable, and I understand that I don't know it all, that's when Spirit can pour in. And there might be an idea about something that I may be having a challenge with. When I can just go to complete vulnerability and say, Spirit, I hand it over to you. I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to do. And then let it be. Don't think about it. Just let it be. And I'm telling you, it works every time. Spirit will pour an idea in, and I'll be washing dishes, and I'll go, oh, that's the answer. Right? Because when we're open. So when we're in challenge, it's okay to go, I don't know what to do here. I'm going to hand it to you, Spirit. And I'm going to wait patiently. Because it will pour itself into you, and the answer will become clear. And that's kind of, in my opinion, imagination. Right? Imagining. Playing. Neville Goddard says that magical thinkers, dreamers, and creators are some of the most vulnerable people. And I believe that. If I had to create a painting like Lauren does and put it up on the wall somewhere for other people to look at it, holy cow, that's vulnerable for me. Right? Being a singer. Any type of creation is vulnerable. And remember, think back, our first creative beingness as little babies. Our first experience here on this plane of existence as a little baby, vulnerability, new creation. But that's where the power is, because you can't outguess God. So when we stay small with our limited thinking, we don't allow room for Spirit, God, whatever that name we use for that power and presence. We don't allow room for it when we're small. Jean Houston says this about laughter. And Jean Houston she is fantastic. She talks about how you can you can recreate your past through imagination. And it will show up in a new experience here in this present moment. She is super powerful. But she says this, at the height of laughter, the universe is flung into a kaleidoscope of new possibilities. When we laugh, there's that juicy space for creativity when we laugh. And I gotta tell you, I don't think any of us laugh enough. I don't think we do.
Let's do it now.
Thank you! Spiritual practice, number 2. Laura Garrett. Where's Laura Garrett? Laura Garrett, get your buns up here. Here we go. All right, Laura does not know this, but she and I in prac class with, I believe, Lauren, we did an exercise for laughing. It was a laughing meditation. And so we're going to model it for you. And then guess what? You're going to do it. Pinky promise. Okay, so this is how it works.
You cannot help yourself.
Okay. All right. Do you get it? I'm not kidding you. When you laugh, and she engaged, right? I started, and then she got, oh, my jaw hurts. I'd love for you to just turn to somebody right now and start laughing. You can do I think this is the best time ever. That alone is worth the price of admission. Holy cow. Thank you. That was lovely. And do you know that World Laughter Day is is May 7th. So, I want everybody practicing this week. Get those.
You just set your immune system for 5 hours of healing and increased vitality.
Did you hear that? We just helped our immune system for 5 hours of vitality and just increase. It's healthy. So, see, you're welcome. It's healthy.
I'll take it.
There you go.
It's healthy. Just know it.
So that's what I call us to do more of. I really do. I think, as adults especially, we kind of get into our adultness. I don't know. Laughter is so great.
Good medicine.
Yes, it's good medicine. And being vulnerable. So just this past week, that I was, vulnerability's on my mind and how are we going to practice it. And one night, I was in the kitchen. I was doing the dishes with my beloveds, and we like to put some music on. And one of my little things with Zach is that I will do a funky white girl dance and dance over to him and embarrass him, right? And so I did that, and he ran. You know what? I chased him. We went outside. He locked the back door. It must have gone on for 20 minutes. We were running around the trailer, and I was looking underneath the dealer's feet. We need to do more of that. It feels so good. If you have kids or grandkids, play with them. Stop what you're doing and play with them. I got tired after about 20. I was 20 minutes in. I'm like, okay, I can't do it anymore. But it's important because that is the memory. That is what we take with us. They're not going to remember that I put them through. Maybe they'll remember I put them through college. But what they will remember is that I played with them. That's where the connection is. And I looked like a complete dork running around. I was, if my neighbors were watching, whatever. I don't care. I want all of us to not care. Because that's how we transform. I transform, my kids transform. They transform somebody else. So can you feel the power in that?
Yes.
Thank you. And that is where new things are created, in those moments, in those spaces together. I really believe, when creative minds are getting together and they're vulnerable and they don't know what they don't know, that's when we have new inventions, new creations, new music, new art, whatever it is. When they got together, they didn't know they were going to create whatever they were going to create. But by being open and vulnerable, I keep saying vulnerable, and not knowing what the outcome's going to be, something tremendous is born for our good. So spend your time with the sweetness of people who get you and like your cup of tea. Mark Nepo says, the sweetness of living comes to us when the very humanness we regret and try to hide, our seeming flaws and shameful secrets are worked on by time and nature into a honey all their own. Honey, sticky. When we are vulnerable with each other, that's the stickiness that keeps us together. They know you. They know me now. And it is a tremendous gift to be there for somebody. And for them to be there for you. That's where we make these connections. You want more connections in your life? Be vulnerable. Archbishop Desmond Tutu, one of my favorite people, along with, he hangs out with this guy. This is the Dalai Lama. They're so funny together. If you haven't checked them out with their joy, the way they giggle with one another, it's like these gurus of life. It's beyond. But he says, my humanity is bound up in yours. We can only be human together. So because we're bound together, Here's spiritual practice number 3. Then then it's over and out. Okay? I want you to think for a second. Have you been embarrassed? No one in here has been embarrassed. I've been embarrassed many, many times. Is there something unique about you that is only you? Yeah. Okay, I want you to turn to somebody and I want you to tell them about it. So, something embarrassing or something really unique about you that maybe your neighbor doesn't know. Are you ready? Can you do it? Yes, you can. Little sneakers. Go. Yes, here we are. You've been embarrassed? Yeah. You go first. And he said something very honest and vulnerable. It's hard for me to think about it because I block those things out. And maybe you have a moment. I mean, we all have embarrassing or vulnerable moments. We block it out. We do not want to revisit that shenanigan, right? And that's what this is the point. This is the point. Feel it. Be with it. It's okay. Love it. It's part of our humanness. It's the stickiness. We all had, there was a bunch of connection, a weave, a web of connecting here today because we were vulnerable. Let me look. That's it. I love you. You did so good. I'm so proud of us. All right. I'd like to invite the gift that is Pat Clark. All right. She needs no introduction.
Okay. So before we start the singing, okay, CSL TV family, do you remember right around this time last year, we were feeling pretty vulnerable? And then we kind of pulled ourselves together and we started to vision. We talked about what would our right and perfect senior ministry be. And we visioned and we worked on it and researched and we put it out to the universe. Did we knock it out of the park? Exactly right. So, I heard Barbra Streisand do this combination of songs. And I said, I want to do that. So when I practiced this morning, I thought, this might be a little long, but I'm going to go for it.
Yes!
And so I believe in You'll Never Walk Alone. Now look, if you feel called to sing along, sing along. This is, this is that kind of a day. I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. I believe that somewhere in the darkest night a candle glows. I believe for everyone who goes astray, someone will come to show the way. I believe above the storm, the smallest prayer can still be heard. And I believe that someone in the great somewhere hears every word. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, then I know when you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm is our golden sky and the sweet silver song of the lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're blessed.
We are blessed. And we never walk alone here. Ever. All right. It's that time of service. The giving. So I'd ask our ushers to come forward, please, if they would. Thank you for your service. They're bringing their baskets. I would ask for a gracious volunteer who wants to lead us in our our time of giving song. God is my source. Anybody? God is my source. All right, it might be me. Oh, Nikki, thank you. Get up here, sister.
Yes, it's all right. It's all right.
That's my girl. All right. So let's just take our offering, our tithe. Yeah, put it to our heart.
Work me.
Did you get fed here today?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we did, right? When we give to where we are spiritually fed, what feeds us, wherever that may be, we are participating in the divine principle of reciprocity. As we give, we receive. We never know how we're going to receive it, but we do receive. So I honor you. I say thank you for your gift, for leaning in to this community. What we do here matters. We are changing the world. And so I bless these tithes, these offerings, these gifts, for these being placed in the basket, for those being mailed in, for anything online through Venmo or PayPal. It's all good and very good. And we are grateful for this good, overflowing, multiplied. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. All right, let's join together in our affirmation of abundance. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. Thank you. All right. You gonna sing it? God is my source.
Where we at?
God is my
Source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Well done. Love you more. Woo-woo. Love you more than you love me. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Throwdown.
All right. It is time for announcements. And Beth and Peg, come on up. Beth's going to give a couple, and then Peg is going to finish. Thank you.
These are the perfect announcements, the two I get to do for today's talk. You ready to be vulnerable? Number one, education is back after a spring break. Reverend Charlene and I are inviting all of you, or those of you that are listening to the message, to a Center for Spiritual Living certificated class called Powering Your Decisions. It's an 8-week class. It starts Tuesday at 6 here. And this is the blurb. Attract new ideas into your life today while gaining greater mastery of practical spiritual tools. And it goes on and on and on. Here's some of the chapters. Decide to be happy. Now, is there anybody in this room that say, yeah, no, I don't want to be happy. I will not be happy. I know a few that have decided to be unhappy. This is their life's mission. Decide to be healthy. Decide to decide. Because indecision is a decision. So this is a book based on Raymond, and this is vulnerability. I know that I will say Raymond Charles Barkley at least once in class. And it is not him. It is his great-great-grandfather, Raymond Charles Barker, who wrote the book. He was a contemporary of Ernest Holmes. And he wrote the book, and it's one of the basics. I took it a long time ago, and we haven't taught it. So if there is a little nudge inside of you to take this class, there's room. We're inviting you. It starts Tuesday night at 6 p.m. There's a sign-up sheet out in the breezeway. And if you have any questions about the class, you can ask me, or Reverend Charlene, or anybody that looks like they would have an answer for you. So they might make it up, and that's okay too. So if you're tempted and feel vulnerable to come into the class, you are certainly welcome. Okay, it's 8 weeks. It'll run from May to some mid-June. Okay, that's number one. Number two, this is the coolest thing. A week from today, May 7th, we are not doing your parents' church. Okay, we are doing what's called a taze, and I know Reverend Charlene has talked about it this month, and I want to again cordially and warmly, enthusiastically invite you to come next Sunday. It's very different. The chairs are not going to be in rows. We're going to be sitting in a way that is kind of horseshoe shaped, and there will be a gong, there will be chanting, there will be meditation, and there will be silence. So normally when people come to church on Sunday, you're using your five senses, right? The five senses that you take out in the world and assess all the things like sound, taste, touch, etc. This is the metaphysics. So you're going to go in, and the whole process is designed for you to have that experience. So as Reverend Charlene has put it, we want to experience God, not just think about it. So that's next Sunday. So here's a couple things to know about it. Come early. Not early, like not 7, but 9:30. Okay. We will not be doing meditation. And so for those of you that follow us online, we will not be doing an online meditation, nor will this service be online. So next week, for those of you that don't join us in person, go out and commune with God in nature. Go enjoy those wildflowers. So for those of you that are planning to come, get here, I'd say by 9:30. You will actually be escorted in. So once you come through those doors, we're going to ask that you sit in silence. Okay, it's going to set the process. It's going to set the energy. The service itself, or the whatever we're calling this, the taze, will be about the hour that we run. And afterwards, we have 2 people that are going to be preparing and offering cacao in the social hall, which is also a community building. It's, as Reverend Charlene put it, it's sort of like hot chocolate, but cacao sounds much more sophisticated. And it is a community process, right? It is not, you're not getting high, so it's not that. It's just hot chocolate in fancy form, but it's done with ritual and ceremony. Okay, we're out of vulnerability. We're moving. I don't even know what the thing is. I should, but anyway. Yeah, something about that. Okay, so there's no meditation, but you can come at 9:30ish, and you'll come and sit in silence, and then we'll go through this process. And if any of you have ever done taze, there's a neat backstory to it. It was started after World War II in France, in a village. People were traumatized by what had happened, and they found their way to this little chapel. And from that, they developed the meditation, this way of healing from the inside. So this actually has a really cool backstory. And it has taken on kind of another generation of people that do these. So we're hoping this one goes in a way that everybody's like, that was cool. And then we'll be able to plan those in every once in a while. So that's taze next Sunday. And the class starts on Tuesday. And here's Peg for the rest. All right.
Tonight is the Temecula Interfaith Council's Night of Music. Joanna was going to participate. Honestly, not sure with the way she's feeling whether she is, but hope that you guys will still come out and support the Interfaith Council in the Night of Music tonight. For anyone, that starts at 6:30, and it's at, I believe, the Grace Presbyterian Church, corner of Nicholas and Calle Medusa, which is right down the street from my house. I could actually walk. And we were talking about, some people were talking about meeting for dinner beforehand at Himalayan Taste, which is right down the street across from Chaparral High School. So Since Interfaith Council, that starts at 6:30, we're thinking about meeting at around 5 for dinner. If anybody wants to do that, let's do it. Let's see, Reverend Charlie, okay, that's the time I serve. Oh, no. Okay, Mother's Day gift idea. Our own Barb Murray has teamed up with Jody Hendrick to create fabulous flower or succulent arrangements for Mother's Day, which will include a beautiful hand-painted rock for your special mom or loved one in your life. Please see the activity table in the breezeway to place your order. There is going to be practitioner wisdom teaching coming in May. This will be offered by our wise practitioners who will provide a teaching moment after Sunday service for about an hour in the Suite B education room across the breezeway. They will be teaching about such things as meditation, chakras, energy work, spiritual principles, all kinds of cool stuff. That's coming up next month. And we have our CSL TV clubs. We've got Gifts of Spirit, Band of Brothers and Sisters in Spirit meeting regularly. Please see the website for more information. It's time to update our contact information. So if any of your contact info has changed, please fill out a contact information slip and give that to Reverend Charlene or Cecilia. Yeah. We're selling fantastic books of all sorts and all sorts of subjects. Yay, Kevin! Kevin reported we sold over $100 last year. So let's bust through that today. There's such great books, and it's a great way to support the center. So that's all I got. Thanks.
Thank you,
By the way, romance novels will be coming in. Well, seriously.
Thank you, Peg. Thank you. Yes. Anytime anybody wants to come up here, be vulnerable, and less Charlene, more of you, please see me for opportunities, okay? Peg said yes, and I said yes, so there you go. All right, so we have a quick ceremony. I'm going to ask Pat Clark to come up, our board president. We are celebrating our volunteers today. Woohoo! Yes. It's really important, and I know we want to get into the social hall for our yummy potluck, but we cannot do what we do here on a Sunday without volunteers. I can't do it. Jim can't do it. We need volunteers. And so I'm just so grateful. The board is so great. We're grateful to our volunteers who show up on a Sunday and give what they give as a love offering. It matters that we're able to do this together. And so this is the day where we're going to celebrate volunteers. So do we want to call them all up first? And then we're also going to celebrate who is it going to be? Our Volunteer of the Year gets to be on the plaque in memoriam. So let's go ahead and call up so if you hear your name and you're a volunteer, I want you to come up. Nikki, you're a volunteer, get up here. Kelly, Ajmal, Nancy Bloom, Vern, Holly Hall, Bonnie, Miraz, Sandra Gregson's with the kids, but we're going to love her up in the social hall, right? Yeah. She's in there with our youth and family, which is beginning to start, and we're super excited. So if you're interested in teaching or being a youth and family teacher, see me, see Ted. Ted, you're a volunteer. Please come up here. Jill, Kevin, Riley, Mike, Long, get up here. Cindy, Peg McLaughlin, Janine, Jim, McLaughlin, Amberly, Ted, Ignacio, Alana, I know I saw you. Cecilia, Susie K. Yes, Susie K. Yes. You okay? Yes. All right. Hello. Oh, you got your gift. Yay. Mikey Zebra, sorry, get up here. Youth and family. Everybody got one? No, get up here. All right, can we say thank you to our volunteers? Please come up. But we love our volunteers. Thank you. to do our volunteer of the year. Who could it be? I'll do that. No, that's not. I don't write.
Oh, this is presentations on the fly.
It's stand and deliver.
Okay. You left some stuff out when you called last night. So, now's the time when we have an opportunity to honor a volunteer who has done so much for so long for CSL TV. She is everywhere, all the time. If you need help, all you have to just ask, and she'll do it. So, it's kind of gotten to the point, though, where some of us have to fight about who's going to have that volunteer. She's in the kitchen. She's an ambassador. She's done so many things. You know, talk about some of the things.
That's right,
Bonnie.
Well deserved.
Well, thanks for having me.
Sing.
Well, yeah,
You don't have to speak.
didn't you know the volunteer of the year has to sing?
So Bonnie is 2022 Volunteer of the Year. And now, the Board of Directors has graciously given each volunteer a $25 gift card to Amazon. So you should be expecting that in your email box this week, okay? So the board thanks you. We love you. I know that service changes our lives, and I think you can all nod that it does. I think you probably would agree it changes your life. So thank you. We love you. And you're going to stay up here while we pray out. No, I'm getting it done. Thanks for doing that. No, this is the only
What we have here
Sorry,
is
so
failure to communicate.
I know. So this is Bonnie's name will be on. This is what she's questioning. Bonnie's name will be on our plaque. It resides in our office, and you can take a look and look at it and admire it and say, "Oh, Bonnie's name is on the plaque." So let's go ahead now and do what we do, which is know truth, right? Together in consciousness. So please join me in knowing and affirming God, the source and support, the gift of life. It is forever revealing itself, expressing itself, creating more of itself in its own vulnerability. It is the master teacher. I know that we are this life made manifest. We are love in form. And I know that this week, as we move from this time together, that we love ourselves, we love others, we accept ourselves, we accept others just as they are. We lean into our own vulnerability and smile. We laugh a little bit. We play and dance, maybe sing a song. But we lean into life and know more about ourselves in doing so. And so I know that this gift moves on from this community out into the world where we change lives. And I am grateful for this knowing, for this truth, for this community. It is good and very good. And so I place my word into the power and action of the law, for I know it is already done. And we affirm this by saying, and so it is. I love you. Let's go have a dosh in the social hall. We're not going to sing. We're going to just move on out. Have a beautiful week. It was fun. Let's continue our vulnerability practice together in the social